Hello, my friends. My name is Adam, and I'm attempting to become the most prolific reviewer of all time, and to do that, I review books, movies, podcasts, plays, whatever I want, basically. And on the weekend, my son was a bit sick, so we were watching Wonderman, the new Marvel TV series, and I really liked it, but I understand how Marvel fans might not like it. And the well, let me tell you who it stars. It stars a bunch of people, but the most important are Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. He stars as Simon Williams, and Ben Kingsley uh, reprises his role as Trevor Slattery. And if you don't know who that was, he was the actor who played the Mandarin in, I believe, Iron Man 3, which I thought, when I watched it, I thought it was a good movie, but I haven't seen it in many years, so I don't know if it holds up or not. And there is a little bit of, you could get more depth with the character if you watch Iron Man 3 before you watch this, but I don't think it's necessary because Wonder Man is all about a guy who has this completely normal ambition, like he wants to be an actor, but he has these superpowers, and these superpowers that are really hard for him to control. And he lives in this world where you can't be an actor, at least not in Hollywood. You can't be an actor and have superpowers. They have a whole contract about that. And so he has to hide himself to be what he wants to do what he wants to do. And the series is really good because it's about acting, and Kingsley does a great job, as always, in his Slattery role, being this like older, sort of jaded actor. Not even jaded, like kind of a guy who's been through a lot, and because he's been through a lot, he's much more relaxed than the Simon character is. That's the main character. Um, because Simon is trying to keep control of everything, keep control of his superpowers, and yeah, the whole thing is really quite well done because it's not a story about the end of the world. It's not. There's no huge stakes, and I think unfortunately in superhero media, especially like MCU, DCU, there's always this thing like the story can't be interesting if the fate of the world is not at stake, which is completely bogus, I think. Like if you think about the Batman movies from the early 90s, like Batman 89, it was interesting, and there were stakes, like the stake was the fate of the city, but it wasn't like the entire world because Batman generally is a localized phenomenon, right? So, and the Simon character, another great thing about it is that he is not he no you don't like Simon's character. He's annoying, he's a jerk. Bad things happen to him because he's not nice to other people, and he feels superior to other people. He can't hold down a job because he has all of these great theories about acting, and it's a bit much. And whereas if he just came and he said his line and then left, he would have a much better career. And he is unsympathetic to the extent that there's a lot of things that happen. Like he says later in the series, like, "Oh, I see so many people get all of these great roles, and they're not very talented. And I think, why not me? Maybe it's time to quit." But then so he's saying that, right? And I think the writing is good because you can think about what he's saying and you can say, okay, the character would feel that way. He would express himself that way, but actually, there's a lot of self sabotage that's going on, kind of unknowingly. here. So he's a fascinating character, and I think like Marvel has made a few of these sort of very quiet series. So they've made good series like WandaVision and of course Loki, great series, great television, just period. Apart from being like great MCU, they've made really bad series like I think I don't was it Secret Wars? I don't know. That one that was horrible with Samuel L. Jackson. Really, really bad. But they've made like a few of these kind of really left of center series like Echo, I think. Like I'm not sure if Echo is as good as this is, to be honest, because I haven't seen it in a while, but when I watched it, I was like, yeah, this is good and I know Marvel fans are not going to like this because it's different, it's quieter, and I think that this is also something that is great art, and it has a lot to say about the nature of art and acting and performance, etc. And I think that Marvel fans might not enjoy it because of there's no big stakes, right? But I think that it's interesting because when you think about superpowers, you don't generally like in the sort of hypothetical conversation that you have with your friends, you never you when somebody asks you like what superpower would you want to have, there's never like, oh, and you would use it to save the world how. It's more like, and what kind of problems would you get into if you really had that superpower? So I think it's great. It's a great exploration of that theme. And the acting, as I said, by Ben Kingsley is great. But the acting of, I'm just going to remember his name very quickly, Yahya Abdul. He's a brilliant actor. Really, really brilliant actor because it takes, like, you can tell that the character, Simon, is a competent actor, right? And he does have talent, but he gets in his own way. So that's one kind of acting that um Yahya Abdul has to do, but he also has to, as I said, kind of make you dislike the character and yet be invested in his journey. So I think it's a really great show. And I would give it actually 10 out of 10. Um, and yeah, 10 out of 10 because it says what it wants to say perfectly. And for what it is, it's like a perfect expression of the story. And I don't think that you could, like, for me, a 10 out of 10 thing is something that you couldn't do it any other way. And it would, and I think when I give lower marks, there's something in it that is not perfection. But yeah, I think that this is perfection. It's really, really good. So if you haven't seen it and you're kind of fatigued with Marvel, like maybe you'll like it if you're fatigued with Marvel, but maybe you'll like it if you don't like Marvel, right? Because it's also kind of interesting and you don't really need to know a lot of the Marvel lore connected to it because that is explained in the series. All right, what did you think? Let me know in the comments. I'm trying to get to 800 subscribers by the end of March. So if you like what I do, like, subscribe, leave a comment. All right, thanks. Bye.